welcome to the September edition of Fintech Firebrand. I'm Virginie O'Shea, founder of Firebrand Research, and I'm here to chat to you about September's finreg and fintech news. One of the notable finreg developments this month was the SEC's Gary Gensler went in front of the Senate Banking Committee to discuss a whole host of different subjects. He was grilled for much longer than they anticipated. I think it was scheduled to be an hour, but it went well over that. And I sat and listened through all of it just to see all of the topics that were being discussed. Now, to no one's surprise, I'm sure, there was a huge contingent of very pro-crypto senators in the audience. They were asking lots of questions about the SEC's role in the crypto markets, questioning the the enforcement-led approach to regulation that they were pointing out the SEC has adopted, although it's something that the SEC has been using as a manner of policing the markets for some time. It's not limited to crypto. So certainly that was a very interesting discussion. The upshot of some of the discussions was Senator Loomis was in the room as well. She of Loomis and Gillibrand fame, who'd proposed a bill related to crypto earlier in the year. She noted that there will not be a conclusion of the discussions about the bill this year. She's going to actually be working with the SEC, the CFTC, and other regulators, and for that matter, her staff and the staff of Gillibrand, and a whole host of other industry working groups, no doubt, to put forward a reintroduction of the bill in January. So look out for that. Other topics, of course, ESG and ESG-related disclosures was a big topic. There were a fair few climate change deniers, again, in the audience, tended to correlate with those that were pro-crypto, interestingly enough, as I think I've noted before. So there was a lot of discussion about the potential costs and challenges of introducing a disclosure regime around ESG, particularly around the oil and gas spaces as well. There were a lot of senators represented from different parts of the US that wanted to talk about that. There was some interesting points made by the farming community in particular, and Gensler seemed to be taking these on board in terms of the burden on smaller firms, smaller farm-focused firms as well. So that should be interesting in terms of the developments going ahead there. There was also a fair amount of discussion as the SEC's just put out a proposal for treasuries, US treasuries, to be forced down the clearing route. And some key changes to the US Treasury markets there as well, in terms of plumbing and categorization of different types of firms. So there was a lot of grist for the mill from the finreg front this month. Now, from the market side, from the crypto viewpoint, there's been some interesting developments. Of course, we've had the Ethereum merge happening this month. We've also had the launch of Edx Markets, which is a new crypto exchange that is very much backed by the traditional finance or TradFi community. It includes, the backers include Citadel, Virtue, and some other big players out there. And now their pitch is that they are coming at this from the perspective of those that have long-term careers in this market. And obviously, there's a focus and a contention that they will be less conflicted in terms of their interests when it comes to, in comparison to the existing crypto exchanges out there. Whether this is true or not is obviously time will tell, and certainly it'll be interesting to see the regulators' views on these things. But certainly those were two very big things around the crypto world that happened this month. An interesting development from Asia, from our friends at the Monetary Authority of Singapore, also this month, on the topic of ESG and fintech. MAS and the Singapore Exchange launched what they're calling ES Genome, very nice little pun there, a new portal for digital disclosure for companies to report their ESG data in sort of a structured manner, and to be able to disseminate that to investors from a single portal in a consistent and comparable format, which is obviously something that a lot of industry market participants have been talking about from various aspects across the globe. So this is certainly an interesting development. And unsurprisingly, there's been a lot of work going on behind the scenes at MAS. I mentioned Project Greenprint before. This is sort of an extension of some of the work they've been doing there too. And another thing to note, this happens nearly every September, is that regulators in the US begin to amp up their enforcement actions as they put forward their budgets for the incoming year. Now, certainly we've seen a huge number of actions being taken over the last number of weeks, I should say. And certainly that's something that happens nearly every year, as I say. So we've seen some interesting enforcement actions related to transaction reporting, a key topic given we've got CFTC rewrites coming in as well for the derivatives market at the end of this year. So certainly lots of things to keep an eye on and keep your handle on when it comes to watching what the regulators are up to in the next couple of weeks. Now, my final thoughts relate to a project that Firebrand has just completed with our partners at BNP Paribas Security Services. Now, we've produced a white paper looking at post-trade market efficiency across the globe, across the three key regions of APAC, EMEA, and the Americas, and not just North America, so Latin America features as well. And some of the interesting developments that are going on within the regulatory community and the industry, in particular market infrastructures as well. Now, some of the interesting trends we saw that there's a lot of focus on market specialism still. It's still considered a differentiator because though there's commonality across various corners of the globe, there's still not one approach to everything. And there's a lot of pressure on the security services industry market participants to demonstrate stewardship and effective facilitation of communication between issuers and final investors. Obviously, ESG is a big topic. The governance bit of that is driving a lot of these changes. The topic of efficiency is broader than just automation. I know that we always focus on the technology aspect, but it can also bring into focus things like capital and liquidity management, especially as we look at the implementation of new frameworks such as the Basel III framework across the globe as well, and Basel IV, and God knows how many we'll have after that. No surprise to anyone, the huge focus on data services is common across the industry. Nearly every market participant out there is focusing on how to make better use of their data, how to make money out of their data, and that of their clients without upsetting their clients and without upsetting their regulators. Now, another big topic, topic that was discussed also in the House Financial or the Senate Committee on Banking, was the topic of cybersecurity and operational resilience. Now, obviously, T+1, the move to T+1 in the US is a big talking point around operational resilience and reducing operational risk, but cyber has continued to be a big topic, and that will continue to be a common theme across the globe on an ongoing basis. And when we talk about T+1, we also have to bring into mind that there's the spectre of legacy technology that needs to be retired. So now these are just a handful of the themes that we discuss in the papers. So please do download it. And if you want to have a copy, just drop me a line.